Ripple vs. SEC case, why it's still not settled. The Ripple vs. SEC case, why it's still dragging on behind the scenes. The Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit has been dragging on far longer than many expected, and the truth behind the delay might surprise you. It's not because the parties are stuck in endless negotiations or trying to outmaneuver each other. Instead, the holdup is largely due to the SEC's own internal procedures, a maze of bureaucratic steps that must be completed before any final decision can be made. But here's where it gets controversial. Many in the crypto community assume the delays signal some hidden agenda or strategic stalling, yet insiders say it's just the SEC's routine process playing out. Why the Ripple vs. SEC case isn't settled yet, the real reason behind the delay. According to Marc Fagel, a former SEC official and securities lawyer, the reason the Ripple case remains unresolved is not because of ongoing settlement talks or disputes between Ripple and the SEC. Instead, it's the internal workings of the SEC itself that are causing the timeline to stretch out. Fagel explains that before the SEC commissioners can vote on any enforcement action, several procedural steps must be completed. These include drafting detailed action memos, conducting thorough division reviews, and scheduling the vote, all of which take time and cannot be rushed. This explanation came after a closed-door SEC meeting on July 17, which many hoped would bring clarity or progress. However, Fagel confirmed that this meeting did not include any discussion about the Ripple enforcement action. This is a crucial point that many people miss. The SEC's weekly private meetings often follow a standard agenda and don't necessarily address every high-profile case on the docket. So, the absence of Ripple-related discussion at that meeting doesn't mean the case is being ignored, it simply wasn't on the agenda. Fagel's comments highlight that the delay is procedural, not strategic. He tweeted, "That's not the cause for delay. The staff needs to draft its action memo. It needs to be reviewed by Ripple SEC case, impact on crypto payroll and future of digital assets. Unveiling the future of crypto and payroll, a twist that could change everything." The intense legal showdown between Ripple and the SEC is nearing its conclusion, and the atmosphere is charged with anticipation. At its core, this case is not only about Ripple or XRP, it represents a potential turning point for how digital assets are classified and integrated into everyday business practices, including innovative solutions like crypto payroll. With fresh updates indicating that both parties may soon drop their appeals, many in the crypto community and beyond are asking, what does this mean for the evolving landscape of digital finance? Ripple vs. SEC, a closer look at the latest developments. The legal battle has kept many of us on tenterhooks. Recent progress indicates that we might be seeing the final chapters soon, with both Ripple and the SEC seemingly ready to close the book on their appeals. Former SEC attorney Marc Fagel has noted that the case is following the standard legal procedure, with no unusual holdups, providing a sense of relief for XRP holders and crypto enthusiasts alike. Fagel also mentioned that Judge Annalisa Torres has already rendered all necessary decisions, leaving only the internal processes on the SEC's end, which are expected to take another month or two. This predictable progression is a welcome change in what has been a highly unpredictable legal saga. The Ripple decision, broader ramifications for crypto regulation. The ripple effect of this case goes far beyond XRP. Should Ripple prevail, it could establish a much-needed framework for classifying and regulating digital currencies, a move that would simplify compliance for businesses and potentially expand opportunities for crypto payroll services. Consider the benefits for companies exploring cross-border payments. Clear guidance would significantly reduce the complexities and expenses typically associated with international transactions. However, if the outcome remains ambiguous, it might further complicate regulatory efforts, echoing the SEC's previous criticisms regarding the absence of well-defined guidelines. This situation raises important questions. Are we ready for a future where digital currency becomes a standard in payroll systems, or must we first address these regulatory concerns? Market dynamics, positive price movements and emerging payment trends. In the wake of the latest Ripple updates, XRP's value has already experienced an upward boost of over 8%. This surge reflects growing market optimism that the resolution could bring about a more stable and predictable regulatory environment for the broader crypto industry. As confidence in XRP strengthens, businesses are increasingly intrigued by the prospect of integrating digital currencies into their operations, particularly for cross-border payments. Such a move could drastically cut transaction fees and accelerate processing times, making it an appealing option for companies looking to modernize their payment methods. Crypto payroll, a new frontier in employee compensation. At the heart of the discussion is the emerging trend of incorporating cryptocurrencies into payroll systems. As traditional financial institutions. XRP News Today, SEC appeal delay hits XRP ETF hopes price and legal update. XRP investors are on high alert as a looming SEC appeal delay threatens to upend the highly anticipated XRP ETF timeline, and the stakes are higher than you think. The Ripple SEC saga took a dramatic turn after Judge Annalisa Torres rejected a joint settlement motion on June 26, prompting Ripple to drop its cross-appeal. But here's where uncertainty kicks in. Former SEC lawyer Marc Fagel warns that the SEC's voting process on dismissing the appeal could drag on for 1-2 months, leaving XRP's future in limbo. The clock started ticking on June 27 when Ripple abandoned its appeal, but the SEC's closed meeting this Thursday marks exactly 1 month since Torres' ruling, right on the cusp of Fagel's predicted timeline. The delay isn't just about legal formalities, it directly impacts the SEC's stance on pending XRP spot ETF applications. #The Grayscale ETF conundrum. Grayscale scored a partial win on July 1 when the SEC approved its digital large-cap ETF, including XRP, but the agency swiftly issued a stay order blocking the launch until a standardized ETF framework is established. The twist? The Rex Osprey Solana ETF launched just 1 day after the stay order, sparking accusations of inconsistency. Grayscale fired back with a formal challenge on July 11, but the SEC remains silent. #Why XRP is the wild card. While BTC, ETH, and SOL spot ETFs trade freely, XRP's inclusion is mysteriously stalled. The SEC cites the need for a unified framework, but approving Solana's ETF under the same circumstances raises eyebrows. Is XRP being singled out, or is the SEC genuinely restructuring its approach? The answer could make or break XRP's price trajectory. #XRP price outlook, volatility ahead. XRP's near-term fate hinges on 2 triggers, the SEC's appeal decision and ETF clarity. A withdrawn appeal could propel XRP past its all-time high of $3.66 toward $5, but prolonged silence risks a slide below $3.30. Technical analysis. Daily chart, XRP clings to bullish momentum above its 50-day and 200-day EMAs, but the RSI, 81.89, signals overbought conditions. A breakout above $3.66 could hit $4 to $5, while a drop below $3.30 may trigger a bearish cascade. The bigger question. Why is the SEC delaying XRP's ETF while greenlighting others? Is this caution, bias, or a strategic pause? Share your thoughts. Do you believe the SEC will resolve XRP's status before year-end, or are we in for a long wait?